Hello everybody and welcome to qualifying. We're here today at the streets of Monaco. Today we have a track length of 3.3 kilometers at the streets of Monte Carlo. With a lap distance of 2.1 miles per lap, 21% of this lap is spent braking whilst the other 79% is spent accelerating. 19 corners make up this 2.1 mile track layout with 11 corners to the right and 8 to the left, and with the elevation change of 41.8 meters all the way from turns 1 to 4, and only having one DRS zone from at turn 17 to allow drivers to use DRS on the pit straight down into turns 1 will give drivers a great opportunity to overtake. The average speed we'll see here today is 165 miles per hour, the slowest speed going at 55 going through turn 6. Monaco is a very close track with barriers close together. We could see some safety car activities during the race. The last 2 seasons here at Monaco, Harry has taken 2 poles here and the only driver to take pole. Back in season 1, Jamie joined him on the front row, but later during that race both drivers ended up their race in retirement. In season 2, Harry once again got pole, and then this time Preston joined him on the front row. Harry went on to win that race, but Preston continued his 2-season streak of DNFing at Monaco. Harry, in 2 seasons, is the only driver to have won and stood on the podium. That's it for me now, handing it back to Dan.
What an introduction by Peter, I must say. You will be hearing that more and more often as we go along in the series. But yes, welcome everyone to the Monaco Street Circuit, as Peter did very nicely. We have, I believe, about 7 drivers here today. Unfortunately, Callum and George could not make it, but in replacement of those two, of course, you can't replace them, we have the new driver, of course, the guy in Mercedes, Jake, joining us here today. What do you hope to see from Jake today, Peter?
You know, all Mercedes drivers that've been in that car have always provided a good race and always put in a good performance. You know, me, Carl, you know, Kieran, you know, all of them. You know, everyone who stepped in that Mercedes has always performed exceptionally well. So, yeah, I expect no less than for Jake as well to do good.
Uh, I will mention that, of course, Ritvik and Jamie did go Mercedes in Season 1. So we'll see which end Jake goes towards. But yes, we'll see what he can do today. The AIs are now setting times. The guys will not be that far behind, I'm sure. And we should see it any minute now. But of course, the championship is truly heating up. I'm going to get the table up for you now, Peter. But Charlie, Preston, what do you expect from both of them today?
Oh, I expect both of them to put a good fight up. I expect Charlie to strongly respond with what happened last time, where he obviously didn't qualify, and no, not even qualified. He didn't even show up for the race. He had to attend something else for that meanwhile. But yeah, so that obviously took a massive points deficit for Charlie. So Charlie will definitely want to come back today. And definitely, make that gap a little bit bigger so he has a bit more an advantage and leeway when it comes to his advantage.
Of course, and I'm getting you up the table now. There you are. As you can see, Preston is catching. He is on 216 points. Charlie still not dominating, but leading the championship with 235 points. Both drivers will be going into these final races, with a determination to get whatever points they can out of it, because all points matter, and that's why we have added 2 sprint races into the season. One in Australia, so the next Grand Prix after this, and then the other one, of course, in Brazil. So both drivers will be looking, especially to those 2 Grand Prix, to really make an impact on the championship. But who knows what can happen here? Of course, we do have a battle for 3rd place as well. Harry, George, Jamie. Of course, George not being here today, and Jamie a bit ago getting a quite hefty point deduction by Carl. So Harry is sort of running away with it by now. Do you think Harry could keep that third place, or will George and Jamie come back?
Um, You know, I think that it might be in the bag for Harry now. I'd love to see. Well, it's not even I'd love to see. I mean, it'd be a good result for Harry to come back with a third place in the championship. Especially what he's gone through this year as well. So, I think definitely it'd be great to see if he can pull out this third place. But who knows with the 7 rounds left, including this one. So, 7 rounds to go, and it could be a very interesting 7 rounds, may I say.
Yeah, that is really correct, but we are almost done with season 3, and can we just take a minute? I know we're not, we're not too close to the end, but we'll take a look back a minute. It's Monaco now, it's a tough track, but season 3 as a whole, it's been a pretty good season, hasn't it, so far?
Yeah, been back and forths between drivers, multiple drivers winning the race, winning races. Jamie, George, Preston, Charlie, Harry. Bradley came close to it back out in France, but it's definitely been an interesting season so far. We've definitely seen quite interesting things, and I think it can only get better from here.
Exactly, and what a great last few races we'll have to the season, of course. But currently, Charlie sits on provisional pole with a 112.149, I believe that is, if I can read correctly. And then Preston comes in at P2 with a 112.740. Harry in P3 with a 112.822. And Jamie with a 113.211. Bradley then comes in at P8 with a 113.602, and then if we go down quite a bit, Jake is all the way down in P16 with a 114.128. So quite close up at the top, I would say. Jake falling down a bit. Bradley not too far behind the top 4. What does Bradley and Jake have to do to catch up?
Well, Bradley's doing alright. I think, he is about almost a second, maybe like a second a bit off the pace so far. So, it could be down to like the track. Not everyone likes Monaco. Monaco's a very concentrated, full-on focused, 100% push lap. Being careful and being wary of the walls. You're not far if you make a mistake. So, there's bound to be some, there could be some like incidents during the race with how closely the barriers are. But yeah, I think that with Jake as well, it might be again not down to track, maybe setup as well. It can come down to multiple factors really. Like, so it could be the fact that they don't really suit this track much, or maybe setup could be wrong. It could be a hundred of things, but I can't say for sure.
Very, very, very true. And whether those two will be able to get back up or not, especially Jake, but Bradley a bit more. As we say, Bradley's not doing too bad, but I'm sure he would like to be further up right now. But we're currently looking at, of course, you've got the race for first place being P1 and P2 currently. The race for third place, 2 members of that being P3 and P4. Then you've got Bradley, who's currently in a battle with Callum. I know there's battles all over the championship today.
Oh my god, hold on, I'm so sorry, but Preston is set the same exact time as Charlie.
Oh my word! What the hell?
I can't. I'm sure Preston will be a bit frustrated. Maybe when he saw out on his display screen that with the time gap, he will be a little bit frustrated that maybe making a corner, maybe losing that literally thousandth, 100th maybe, costed him pole right there. But they're very evenly matched, so it's basically like their times are not even set yet. So it is now practically who can improve their time.
That is very true. It all comes down to that. I mean, currently Charlie is still on provisional pole, so it'll be Preston looking to improve his time. But who knows? Who knows? Peter. Oh. Oh, looks like there's a bit of a communication issue here between me and Peter, unfortunately.
Yeah, who knows, But, yeah. Looking good for Preston right now. You know. Yeah, hello?
Yeah, there's
Hello?
definitely a connection issue. Peter, I know you're going to hear this in about 10 seconds, but we've got a delay issue. I'm saying it's like 20 seconds later than you're receiving it. Give it a minute.
Dan?
Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
There's a huge delay between me and you.
Yeah, I have no clue why that is.
We could try a private call, see if that works.
Yeah, we could do.
It's up to you.
But we'll do that just, in a bit though.
Okay, no worries. Shall we carry on?
Yeah.
We are back, people. Sorry about that. Momentary communication issue. But Peter is back again. No times have changed really. I mean, it's quite. I still can't believe that Preston and Charlie are on the exact same time. That's nuts.
Yeah, definitely. One man I want to see this get involved right now is Harry. I'd love to see Harry continue his streak of getting poles here at Monaco.
Absolutely, but it doesn't look like he will be getting. Oh,
Harry! Oh, Harry! Thank you so much.
I was just, what the hell?
Oh my God, Harry! Yes, come on. Harry is just clearly too good around Monaco for these drivers.
Harry was taken. I can't speak. Wasn't taken no for an answer. Jeez.
I mean, it's only by like a tenth, but it's still a gap. So, whether Charlie or Preston can make that difference and get in that lap time, who knows? But bravo to Harry. So it was really good for him, to be fair. I mean, I wasn't quite sure if he was going to be in the fight for pole, but it looks like Charlie's improved his lap by 6/10 so far.
Oh, hit against the wall accidentally.
Good. Say that again.
There's a slight contact for him against the wall. Oh! A 111.227 for Charlie here, taking provisional pole.
I mean, could we have another driver take pole? Oh, Preston looks... Oh, for a second I thought Preston retired, but no, he just pulled off into the run for Harry is clearly wanting to get this pole. He clearly wants this pole so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't believe it's actually coming down to the wire, really. I mean, I can't believe it.
Basically, where you start is where your race determines your end. Essentially, it's all won and lost in the pits at Monaco. But Harry, in the first sector, has gone purple as well. Just to confirm, Harry looks like he has gone fastest of all in Sector 1 so far. He is looking very strong on this track and against Charlie. And he said, whatever you can do, I can do better so far. Let's see if Harry can hold his water, though, at the moment, to see if he can continue this lap and maybe complete it and put an astonishing lap in. And he's improved by a further 3 attempts. He's gone purple Sector 2. Harry now coming into turn 17 through this lovely area, coming onto the final straight, opens up that DRS, drives the way down to his line. Will it be provisional pole for Harry? No, it is not. It is 6/10 difference between those two, and he must have mucked up in that last sector. But Harry, I'm sure he will be quickly determined to get back in the pits as quickly as possible so that he can get out, set another lap. And yeah.
Absolutely, it's all gonna come down, but to Harry and Charlie. I'm sure Preston's still trying to fight back, but it's not looking too good for him. I mean, Jamie's not far behind Preston either. Potentially, Jamie getting P3 if he can push hard enough.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what Jake is doing at the moment as well, though. I think he's improved his lap by 2 tenths by the look of things so far. So it's looking good for Jake at the moment. There's a yellow sector 2. I think that might have been Harry. I think it might be him in flow fuel mode, but it won't affect Jake so much. He's going through under the bridge now. Going into that left-hander, lovely area. Just keep it nice and clean. Make sure you don't make contact on the left-hand side, and then you're good for this section. Want to keep it nice and neat going through this left-hander. Keep it nice, easy on the throttle, and especially for this area, keeping it nice and easy as well. It looks like he's done that. He's maintained a beautiful car control through here. Lovely through, coming into the final corner, onto the straight. Oh, looks like he mucked that up just a little bit. What will it be though? He hasn't improved it, and he looks like that last bit of that lap costed him, where he went sort of wide and had to slow down even more. Did Jamie even improve? I mean, I don't even know. Charlie once again out on another outlap. Harry has a minute. Harry's coming out right now, so Harry will indeed probably be able to get one more lap, but I mean he will have to do a flying lap on his outlap to make sure that he can get across that line. He has a minute 19. What would? Yeah, he should be able. He should be able to. He should be able to get to the line. Hopefully, he can get to the line. We'd love to see a nice little fight for the pole. Preston is on his flying lap now. So with Williams behind him now, so will Preston be able to take this provisional pole off Charlie or maybe even Harry? Who knows yet though? I mean, Preston is basically 9 tenths off of Charlie's pace right now. He doesn't improve. He's lost 7.5 tenths basically in the first sector alone. So it doesn't look too good for Preston. He might have even already set a lap, but I don't know. I mean, it looks the same time to me. So I don't know what happened there, but by the looks of things, it might not be looking good for Preston. He might be starting P3. Harry, though, he has 20 seconds to cross that line to set a lap. Charlie has not been able to improve on his first sector. He's down by just a little bit. Harry just needs to make sure he can cross that line in time, or else it will be game over and he will not be able to have a lap. He has 2 seconds. Will he cross that line? No, and Harry narrowly misses that line and will not be able to continue his streak of getting poles around Monaco. It all comes down to Charlie as he slightly cuts that corner there just a little bit. Preston crosses the line. Jamie crosses the line. Bradley still yet to cross the line after he finishes lap. But Charlie is down 3 attempts. He knows he's got pole. He doesn't need to improve on his lap anymore. He knows that he has it secured. So it will be all come down to Bradley. Can Bradley take this pole? Can he get himself up in that top 5, maybe even a bit further than 5th place right now? Jake has qualified P16 right now, so it hasn't been a good qualifying him to begin with at Monaco. It is a hard track to start your first race, but Bradley has improved his lap by 2 attempts. That already puts him into the 120s, 0.8 at the moment. Before he reaches that, what can he do though? The rear end almost steps out there just a little bit. Looking good for him though. What will it be? It will be, he will improve by 4 tenths, but Bradley will stay put in P5, and that is it for qualifying.
And here comes your qualifying leaderboard. And here we are with the leaderboard. Charlie, for the first time ever, takes P1 or pole position at Monaco. Harry follows him in P2, losing that pole streak he had. Preston sits in P3, Jamie in P4, Bradley in P5. And if we go down a bit, then Jake in P16 on his first ever race. Not too good, but hopefully can improve. Stick around, guys, for the race to come. You won't want to miss it. See you in a minute, people. And welcome everybody to the Monaco Formation Lap. I hope you're all having a brilliant day and are ready for some DFL action as we get underway here. What are you expecting from this race, Peter?
Preston, first of all, needs to clear Harry straight off the line. Charlie, if he gets a great launch off into Zandvoort, maybe hoping to look to maintain the lead and maybe lead this race throughout the race if he hopefully doesn't make any mistakes. But Preston will be the one looking to chase this race. This could be a race where Harry could capitalize, where Charlie could capitalize and gain even more points. Harry will be looking to go for, yet again, another race victory. This will be his second one if he can get this one today. Jamie out in P4, he has Preston in front of him. So Preston will be a hard opponent to get past. But if Jamie, once again, if he gets a great launch, he could probably clear Preston off the lines. And Bradley will definitely be looking to take it slow and maybe not make those mistakes and hopefully have a good race and score even more points to, get past. I think he's already passed Callum in the championship, but even gain even more points in today's race.
Screen share is up if you'd like to check.
Again?
I said screen share is up if you'd like to check. I mean, Bradley is ahead, so, but only just.
Yes, so this will be a great race for Bradley to capitalise on. Jake will be obviously looking to cut his way through the field as quickly as possible, but in an efficient manner. There's several strategies that has come up. Mediums to hards or softs to mediums maybe could be an aggressive strategy for these drivers. But obviously, don't rule out a safety car just yet because Monaco can be a very active place for safety cars during this race. I mean, it could be could be a good race as all the drivers are now lined up. Dan, to you.
And it's 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out. And away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. What a great start by Harry as he tries to attack it, but Preston is also in that battle, but Harry managed to defend it off. Jamie also in P4 now. Bradley has gone down to P6 unfortunately, but I'm sure he'll be bouncing back. Jake to P18 now, but again he'll be bouncing back as well. But the top three, what a start by the three of them.
Yeah, Harry there at the start almost tried to overtake Charlie, and Preston tried making a move on Harry. So it was all three of those, well, should I say two of those, tried overtaking one another to try and get the better of those out of the three of them. But Charlie came out with the great defend and placed his car in the right places, and now is still in the lead with a 1 second gap. Harry looked like to be the quicker car there for almost just like a couple seconds though during the opening lap. But it looks to be...
Bradley! I think he's gone!
And Bradley has DNF'd this race already. It is not looking good for him. Don't know what to say there, to be honest. Bradley
shocked.
Preston sets the Charlie sets the fastest lap there. But Jake will have to box for a new front wing as he has no wing at all. So he will have to box and he will mean he'll be at the very back of the grid right now. But still at the front, Harry, Charlie and Preston are all in P1, 2 and 3 right now. But the question is, who will overtake who first? Because Harry wants to obviously overtake Charlie, and Preston really wants to overtake Harry. So Preston will obviously be pushing as hard as he can on these opening laps to maybe get the better of Harry and Charlie. But at the moment, like I said, during qualifying, you're determining that during this race is won and lost in the pit stops. If you have a great pit stop, you could have the upper hand on your opponents. If you have a bad one, it will really affect you because it's not a track where you can really overtake much. only in the bridge section. Well, should I say tunnel and on the pit straight. But right now, Jamie looks to have almost to try to overtake Preston there for a second, but he's a bit too far back for that now. Harry now sets the fastest lap and is the fastest driver on the track currently. DRS has been enabled this lap.
Yes, it has, and Harry is looking to fight his way back up to the top and keep, start a Monaco win streak. Whether he can start that or not is another question, but maybe, like his France streak went down the bin, his possible Monaco streak will also be going down the bin this race. Who knows? But as you say, Jamie is trying to catch up to Preston here. Preston to Harry, Harry to Charlie, and Jake to Mick Schumacher. Jake, of course, pitted. He's now 31.7 seconds behind. An unlucky start for him, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Monaco is not an easy place to start your first and have your debut start. So, I mean, you have to give this man a couple of weekends. Obviously, Monaco is not the easiest of tracks to race at. Obviously, we've all seen it. It can be a very treacherous track, and it can be very historic for its crashes and its safety car activities during the race. But, all far so good. No drivers to have caused a safety car. Bradley, the only man at the beginning to have DNF. 19 drivers still left in this race.
Yes, and the question is, will there still be 19 come the other 35 laps left to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. But, whether someone tries to overtake and then, it can all come down to what happens when it comes to battling. Some driver could have a rear and then step out, and that's it for them. It could cost them everything. It could cause a crash.
Oh, Preston hits the wall, but luckily survives there.
Yeah, Harry right now, he is pushing very, very hard to get to Charlie right now. He is in DRS territory right now, so he could potentially get DRS. It's only around the corner just before turn 17. It looks like he might get DRS this lap down the pit straight. Preston will also be looking to push as well, but obviously maybe sit back just a little bit, as he also has DRS as well this lap on Harry, and Harry has DRS on Charlie. So, it's going to be a bit of a DRS train to begin with, but, whether someone can make use of that DRS is another question.
Yes, of course. And Harry is clearly making all the more use out of it with a 0.7 second gap now. He looks to be losing time in most corners, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, in Sector 1, Harry seems to gain a lot of time on Charlie and then seem to lose it throughout the lap. Maybe it's that he's sitting back in the car and maybe eating up a little bit of the tyre wear, or it could be the fact that the setup that he has is not built and he has it specifically targeted through a certain section, and maybe feels that he can make better use of that section than what Charlie can. But it seems to this lap that Harry has done good so far. He hasn't lost much time now this lap, so it could be that he's trying to push and making mistakes here and there. But this gap right now is 0.6 seconds. Temps, and he does have DRS. It will be 3 temps. Charlie will be defending for his life now, but obviously has it easy as it is Monaco, and he can defend quite easily. But he looked to have had poor exit out of the Sandapore. Now Harry almost making use of that, pushing as hard as he can to maybe find a way past Charlie to get this P1 slot.
Yes, absolutely. But Charlie, as he always does, managing to defend off the competition and showing what he can truly do. And, but will that be enough to hold off Harry the whole race? That is a true question. Preston now falling a bit behind. So is Jamie. For both of them losing quite a bit of time, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, both both Preston and Jamie, Jamie's sort of defending, so that's why he's losing time. And then Preston could be saving time away. He could be sitting back and letting these two fight it out. And then when it comes to it, when they start fighting, push it as hard as he can and try and go for it. But at the moment, the fight looks to be between Harry and Charlie right now.
It really does, and what a fight it is. Harry, unfortunately, out of DRS range now. I'm not sure why. Maybe his wheel went. We're not too sure, but Jamie is now under threat. Oh, Jamie's actually gone into the pits.
Yeah, might have made a mistake. He might have made contact. Not entirely sure what happened there, but all we know now is that Jamie's in the pits. Could potentially have a front wing change.
Yes, and it looks like Jake has slipped out once again, so may not be too much of a danger to Jamie right now. An unlucky break for Jake so far. Hopefully comes good in Australia, but who knows? Mercedes will surely be having a talk after this race. But now if we look back up again, Harry losing time on Charlie. Charlie is being successful in pulling away from him now.
Yeah, it looks like that Charlie is looking able to control this race in a certain way, but Harry is not able to figure out and maybe take control of that manner and, try and make it so the tables have turned to his and he holds all the cards. But so far, it looks like Charlie holds all the cards so far and looks like the man who is the one to beat, but it's looking hard to beat right now.
It truly, truly is. Whether Harry can pull something out of the bag will be another question. Whether Preston can pull out something out of the bag and catch up to Harry is the question. But now Jake seems to be catching up to Jamie here. I believe Jamie slipped out himself.
Yeah, so the reason that Jamie went into pits was a front wing change. Yeah, so he has pitted from soft all the way to hards and a front wing change as well.
Do you think it was a good idea him going on hards?
Well, hards play the long game, and whether I don't know. Hards are the longer lasting compound, so it depends. He could be holding out for a safety car. Who knows? So it could be he could have something in mind, but he could maybe think that he knows something that other drivers don't, that there might be a late safety car, mid-race safety car, who knows?
Who knows indeed. But the true question is, who will be the one to take the number one here this season? With 7 races left to go. Charlie currently leading this race. Preston in 3rd place. Harry in 2nd, being the obstacle for Preston. But who knows? Harry seems to be catching up once again on Charlie, and it looks like Jake has been lapped, unfortunately.
Yeah, lapped by the 2 leaders. He had to pull aside to let those 2 leaders fight. He couldn't ignore blue flags. That's against rules and regulations. So he's just sort of just gonna have to follow and trot up behind these 2 for the meanwhile before he can maybe even make a move. I thought there for a second that he might have held up Charlie because of whereabouts they were on the track. So, luckily he was able to pull her to the side just to let those 2 pass and let them continue fighting this out. Obviously quite respectful for that.
Yes, definitely. And what will happen with Jake will be an interesting one, to be honest. Hopefully, again, he comes back in Australia, but who knows. Jamie seems to be catching up a bit to Mick Schumacher, but we're going to ignore that for a second because Harry is now catching up to Charlie once again with the DRS here.
Yeah, Harry pushing through Sandefur and seems to get a lot better exit than what Charlie does. Charlie, though, has it easy through this up through here because it is, you can't really make a move, and it's only about a couple car whips through this whole section. Oh, but Charlie, he's gone deep and he's let Harry has now gone into the lead of the race. Charlie making a crucial mistake, maybe locking up maybe in there, but he definitely went deep into that corner and now has cost him the lead of the race. Harry has now moved up into P1, and after making all that pressure and hard work he's done, he has now successfully got past without having to make a sweat at all, and now it'll be Harry the one who has to defend for his life.
Can Harry do that against Charlie? No.
I mean, definitely. I mean, we've seen him how he defends, but also I don't know what entirely happened there. He seems to be going slow. He's lost. Charlie has lost so much time. He has lost about 2 seconds and he's going into the pits, and Charlie's in the pits, and this is crucial for the championship. Preston will now have the upper hand on Charlie, and he is getting a front wing change. Charlie right now, he is getting a front wing change, and obviously made contact with a barrier, and that is not good for what he wants right now in this championship. He is fighting for his life in this championship to keep it alive, to keep this maintain the lead, and now is all the way down in P13 in this race. He has now dropped to P16 now. Now he's in 17th after Mick Schumacher has passed him. But it's going to be a long road ahead of Charlie now to maybe make some progress. And there's another collision, I think, to begin with. And Sebastian Vettel out the race. This could potentially be the safety car right now, depending on where Vettel's car is placed.
I don't actually know. It looks to be in sector 2, but I think he's just off to the side enough so the guys are still able to get past. So no safety car here today on lap 11. But I did say it wouldn't be 19 races left. It's now 18 drivers left. The list keeps going down. Who will be the next unfortunate victim of Monaco in season 3?
Yeah, I mean, Monaco is like a very crucial track. It was like in Belgium where, all your drivers DNF'd, and, we got through that race with minimal DNFs, but, with our drivers still in it.
Yeah, and whether it'll be minimal or not is another question, to be honest. But it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Jake, again down in P19. Now, a whole minute behind Jamie. It's been a very unfortunate debut for him today, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Monaco is not a place where you want your debut. Obviously it is his first race of the season. He's not new to the game. He obviously has played it, but obviously some people find Monaco harder than others do. But it is what it is, and I'm sure he'll come back in Australia even harder and better than the rest.
Yes, hopefully, who knows, we'll have to see what happens, but Jamie is catching up to Charlie now, but Charlie looks to be maybe about to get an overtake on Mick Schumacher here.
Yeah, like I said, Charlie was in P17, but obviously gained a place. He makes a bit of contact there with Mick Schumacher's rear there for a second. He might have got him a little bit of damage, no visual damage. It might have showed up for him though, but he still seems to be pushing quite hard on this Haas.
Yes, definitely. Whether Charlie can find the gap around the streets of Monaco is another question.
Oh, and Jake's gone round. Jake has gone round. Yeah, he's gone round now. So it's not looked good for him so far. Obviously, he might have got damage, but
apparently his actual wheel is messed up a bit. Not sure if that's maybe just a way of pushing the blame or not. Who knows? But if it is, it's been a very, very, very unfortunate debut for Jake so far. I'm surprised he hasn't retired, to be honest. Most drivers get to this point and they think, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, it can be quite frustrating when you make mistakes, because when you make one mistake, you make other mistakes, and you fall down the chain, and it just, it keeps tumbling down.
It really does, and we hope that Jake does return in Australia for the next race. We'll see what happens. But we're going to focus in on Jamie now, who looks to be catching up to Charlie's latest victim, Mick Schumacher here. A slight hit of the wall for Jamie, but his wing does survive.
Yeah, like I said, you can't be making too much errors around here, because you make one even minor error, it's going to cost you a little bit.
It really will. And whether Jamie can hold on to this, close this gap is another question. But we shall see. But can we just appreciate Harry has built up an 11-second gap on Preston?
Yeah, absolute phenomenal from Harry. You know, he could make this a 2-year run at winning at Monaco. He may not have got that pole, but he is in the lead right now of this race. Obviously, right now, Preston has, he's doing good. Nothing bad happened to him yet. He is continuing running in second place, and this is what he needs right now. I mean, can we, whilst this race is sort of becoming a little bit boring to begin with, because, not many pit stops have happened, and just saying that, Jake has gone round again. I'm assuming he'll probably end up retiring soon. He's got Harry coming up, so he's going to have to be quick with this. He's got Harry coming around the corner, so he's got to be... Oh, and he almost made contact there with Harry. Harry, he saw that there was a yellow sector 1, sorry, and he had to be very wary with that, and he was very cautious of how he approached that. Almost making contact there with Jake, but nothing too minor. But he has lost 3 seconds because of that, though.
But right now, I mean, Harry is not too worried about it, to be honest, because he's got a big enough gap. He doesn't really need to worry about it unless Preston starts making up seconds after seconds. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows to begin with. So, if Preston stays where he is right now, he would essentially be, he would be 1 point behind in the championship. But if he got fastest lap, he would be on equal points with Charlie.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're right, actually. I never thought about that. Oh, my word.
But Preston, he has pitted now, so he is going to be dropping just a little bit behind his championship rival right now. He might just come out in front. He's going to come out behind his championship rival, Charlie. So this has just got even interesting right now. Right now, Charlie has managed to find his way back through the top, and he is in the fight and will be in front of Preston when, most people pit. But just remember, both drivers have pitted, and he goes for the dive bomb down inside of Guan Yu Zhou, making no contact, and made a brilliant send down the inside of Guan Yu Zhou. And he made no contact, and he managed to get through easily. But finally, Jake has retired from this race, and he has pulled off to a side. He thought enough was enough, and it's a safety car, and this is given. Oh no! And Harry, he has just narrowly missed the pit stop area. Can't speak right now. He has missed that pit stop area and could not get a free pit stop from this now. This is not what he would want. Harry getting very unlucky with his safety car timing right now. So the question is, will Harry pit or not? The question is, most people are pitted, so when he does come to pit, he's going to fall down that order.
Can you also just remember, Harry's not only the unlucky one, Preston as well. He's just pitted.
Yeah, true. I mean, you're right. He did just pit as well, but at least he won't drop down as much as what Harry will when it comes to pit.
Very, very true. But who knows what's going to come from his safety car. We've got at least 2 laps of it. Annoyingly, that's for sure. But this is Preston's chance. He's up to P4 again now.
Yeah.
With Charlie in P2. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, like I said, man, there's... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's just unlucky timing, to be honest, isn't it? But it's great for Charlie because when he does come to pit, he will... I don't know. I'd like to hope that Harry will come out a little bit within the pack so that he can still fight for this right now. But yeah, Harry has finally come into pit. He is opted to go to the hard compound, and if he can get out quick enough, which I'm sure he will limit that damage of what how far he'll drop. He might just drop down to about P6, P7 area. He's just about to come out, so he might just come out in front of his teammate right now, and he is in front of his teammate. So, he's dropped to P7. So unlucky for Harry, to be honest with you, because he did such a fantastic job to get where he was and then maintain that lead. Like I said, he just missed the pit stop entrance literally narrowly. I saw it on the map, and just it's unlucky for Harry. You have to feel for the man right now. He goes so much through these races, and yeah.
He has a very unlucky time, that's for sure. Especially in Abu Dhabi, if season 1 DNF, season 2 fight for first place DNF. Whether he will keep that up in season 3 in Abu, who knows? Hopefully not. Hopefully he does finish the race. All hopes are for you, Harry, because we know you're listening right now. Yes, who knows what's going to happen here? Who knows who will benefit from his safety car? We know for sure that Preston and Charlie will both be pushing for their lives. Charlie knowing that the point gap is closing ever more closely by the race. But if Charlie does take the win here today, he will extend it even more, and he will be loving it, that's for sure.
Yeah, we was just talking about the gap of how close it was, and then what it could be if it stayed like this. And speak of it, it's all the narrative of the whole thing is just changed now. So the championship fight continues and lives once again for another day.
It really does. I think the last 7 races. 6 races, it will really get intense between these two. They'll be fighting for their lives. They know it's coming down to the final. It's going to go down to the final few races. So they'll be looking for any points they can get their hands on.
Yeah, definitely. These last several races will be the ones to make the difference. I don't think no one will be able to win it until Abu Dhabi, just because we'd need to work it out mathematically to what the points would be. So we won't know until about the second or third to last race of the season. So that would be in about 4 races time. But hopefully within 4 races time, it will provide us with great racing, with great scenery, should I say, as well. I hope it goes down to the wire, because I think it'll be so great just to see it to go to Abu Dhabi. But as the flags have been waved green now, safety car is in this lap. Charlie is controlling the pace. He is once again in the lead of this race, and now controls the narrative and control of this whole race as well. Fernando Alonso will be acting as the rear gunner, or will he be the one to attack right now on his teammate? But I'm sure the Alpine team will be playing the rear gunner and teammate support role like Perez and Max. But looks like Charlie's got a great start off the start of this rolling start. Preston right now will have to try and clear Fernando Alonso to try get past as quickly as he can. The only chance he'll really get to maybe overtake him is through the tunnel section right now. But he looks to be so close. Will he be making a move down the inside? He does not. He doesn't even have a look at it. He doesn't even have a thought of it yet. But he goes down the inside on the hairpin. He goes up into second place. Preston now into P2, and now sets his eyes on his championship rival, Charlie.
I just want to say, I thought today, Callum not being here, you wouldn't get mixed up with names, but it's happening for you, for everyone now, ain't it?
Don't curse it, Dan. Don't push.
I'm sorry, I had to say something. I've been holding it back all race so far, but I had to say something. But the person who's had the best jump up out of everyone is Jamie. Was P17, is now P11. Is the comeback on for Jamie?
I definitely think that he can definitely get points. It's definitely it's not impossible, but it is very likely that he can get points if he doesn't make mistakes. But You know, Harry, he's only gained one place out of this whole thing as well. Harry is the biggest loser out of. No offense, Harry. I know you listen, Harry. Don't take this as offense. He is probably the person who came out worse from this safety car. Just very unlucky timing, like I said. If that safety car had maybe come out a couple seconds before that corner, I guarantee you Harry would be in the race lead right now.
Absolutely, but sometimes you just cannot help the unluckiness someone has, and that's what Harry has had all season. Stuff has been thrown in his way, avoiding him from getting some wins. Luckily, he did manage to get his first win in, I can't remember where it was, Italy, I believe Monza, but still, a very unlucky season for Harry so far, I'd say. I think it's still very good that he's managed to get third place so far.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good. Speaking of Harry, he has moved up into P5 right now, and DRS has been enabled this lap. But yeah, it's quite good that he's been able to get P3. You know, I feel like he definitely probably contended for this championship this year. But you know, with the amount of like bad luck he's had so far during this year, you know, you would have thought from Italy onwards he would have broken that bad luck curse. You know, it definitely looked that way. It definitely looked like when in France, when everything didn't go his way, and then the safety car got thrown back into the end of the race. You know, we all thought, geez, Harry's going to win this race. He didn't win that race, unfortunately. We thought Bradley was going to win that France race, but he didn't. And then Preston did. So, you know, I think that everyone has had their share of bad luck. I don't think Charlie is the only one who hasn't had so much bad luck, and maybe Preston as well. I don't think he's had that bad of bad luck as well. Speaking of those two, though, Preston is 0.5 of a second behind Charlie, almost tapping the rear end of Charlie. He is faster and will have DRS during this lap. He will be pushing very, very hard down the straight. It is 0.4 of a second behind Charlie. If he can get a good exit, and Harry now goes faster with a 1:14.8 fast lap of the race so far. But back up to Preston, he is currently trying to get past Charlie, and maybe will Charlie crack under the pressure like he did with Harry? You know, who knows? This is the very corner he made the mistake, but he doesn't this time. He makes it past and managed to not crumble under the pressure. But Preston is literally pushing him through these corners. Like, you can literally, he is no less than a car width behind Charlie during this race. There's a bit of contact. I think it might be the Mercedes. Yeah, it's the Mercedes. I think this could be a possible safety car. If it's, oh no, it's all sorted out now.
It truly is, and whilst that was going on, Harry has made it past the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas up to P4 now. Harry is not taking defeat on the chin. He wants this win, and he will come back and do anything for it.
Yeah, definitely. He's up into P4 right now. He's making this track look like you can overtake. He is probably the only driver to look really good on a certain track. You know, he definitely stands out a lot more than the other drivers on this track.
He's like Danny Rick.
He has a better understanding of the track and stuff like that, and maybe one of the tracks he maybe enjoys. But yeah, heading back to the top again. Still, Preston still about 7 tenths now of a second behind Charlie right now. He is still within a second to get that DRS to him. Shame there's no DRS down through this tunnel, because this would be a perfect place for to make use of some DRS as well. But you know, going through now this section, lovely. Preston is still trying to push as hard as he can. Maybe find a way past him to gain, and maybe a way to find more time. And Jamie now given 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cuttings. For multiple. Oh, and Preston, he's gone slow for some reason. I have no clue what happened there, but he's just gone completely slow. You can see Harry in the background right there. He is sat behind that Alpine, And now Preston making that mistake has lost in crucial time.
Absolutely. A very unlucky time for Preston here, but Charlie is now pulling away once again. The crucial 25 points may be back in Charlie's hands. 26 for him if he can finish this race in P1.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every point will count at this rate, and every point will matter for these two during each race now, because it gets into the final stages of the season where you can't afford to lose points.
You really can't, and these guys, don't they know it? They are pushing for every...
Oh no, Harry tried making a move down on Fernando Alonso, and then Fernando Alonso just turns into the side of Harry as he makes the move and then spins Harry out.
Again, that unluckiness is coming the way of Harry once again. Just a very unlucky time for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what he wants. It's not what anyone wants. But, when you're trying to make a move, sometimes stuff like this does happen during the race.
It does. You've just got to take it on the chin and keep going, don't you?
Yeah, like you can see right, Harry is still using that as motivation just to plow through this race and just continue on with it.
Yeah, he really is. And who knows whether he will be able to catch up or not. Who knows? We will see what happens. But for now, we're going to take a look at Charlie once again. Pulling away from Preston. Preston going slow was the absolute thing Charlie wanted. And he's got it.
Yeah, he was applying so much pressure that he made that mistake himself as well. And it's cost him so much as well. Look, it's cost him 2.9, almost 3 seconds now. Oh, he makes slight contact and rubs against that barrier on that right-hand side. But yeah, he has lost so much time. And if he stays like this, I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world, but it's not what he wants. I'm sure he would want to go for the win as well. And I think, I'm not entirely sure, but, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think if Charlie wins this race, I think both Preston and Charlie would be on equal race wins.
Oh God. Preston's got... Keep talking and I'll count it up.
So Charlie has 6 right now. So if he gets this one, it will be 7. So what does Preston have? No. So if Preston was to win this, it'd be equal. And I think Preston has 5. But right now,
No. Preston has 7. Charlie has 6. If Charlie wins this, they go equal on wins.
I was right then.
Yes.
So I was right. I do. My knowledge is worthy of DFL. Harry right now, he's trying to make a move on the outside. He does make that move this time on Fernando Alonso. Scrapes that wall a little bit, but he doesn't care about that. He got past Fernando Alonso in the end, and now up into the podium positions in P3.
Absolutely. Harry has not given it up. As we said before, he has taken it on the chin and he is ploughing through the field, or should we say the streets of Monaco. Harry has not given up and he is determined to come back. Whether he can build that 4.9 seconds he needs to build is another question or not. Do you think he could do it in the time we have left?
Yeah, I mean, we have like 10 laps left of the race, and his pace, it's quite phenomenal and quite impressive. So, if he can maintain this pace all the way to the end, I think it could be a bit of a sticky one. He still has to pass Preston, and Preston will not give this pace up easily because he needs this.
He absolutely does. But we know that Harry is basically unstoppable in Monaco. So I actually do not think that Preston will be able to defend him off. I genuinely think that Harry will make it past Preston eventually.
The gap between Harry and Preston is the same between Charlie and Preston.
Oh no, actually that's kind of changing now. Harry is closing it down.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to see that Preston close down that gap as well on Charlie as well, because then it could make this easier for Harry to go and take the win.
It really would. But who knows what's going to happen here. It's getting ever so closer in my last 10 laps of this race, people. I know you may want to click off this video because it's been so long, but hold on for 10 more laps, which is probably about 14 more minutes. Hold on, people, and see the epic conclusion of the Monaco Grand Prix. Please, you won't want to miss it.
Jamie Howes has now retired from this race. I don't think there's going to be a late safety car unless Jamie's AI causes one. But it could be that, no safety car needed or necessary. He did pull off into that runoff area. So, he doesn't... No car safety necessary. Can't speak.
Well, that would be good for Charlie. Charlie will be over the moon with that. But Preston, as well as Harry on Preston is now closing that gap on Charlie. So the top three are coming closer together. Will it look like the start of a race all over again?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could. I mean, I want to see these guys fight it out for the last basically 10 laps of this race, because I want to see how it ends. It could end in controversy, it could end in drama, it could end in excitement for one of these drivers. But, who knows what happens. We've still got 10 laps of this race left. So, let's see what happens with these last 10 laps. Hopefully that Preston, can gain time on Charlie. But you can see that Harry's gaining time on Preston. So, we'll have to see what happens.
We really will, and what an intense finish it will be. It looks like Harry is getting ever so closer to Preston. If he goes and wins this, it will be probably the biggest redemption story we've had yet in DFL. I mean, yes, we've had Preston go from P15 to P1 in Sochi, and Cole from P20 to P3 or P2 before in Bahrain, but still it will be a big redemption story in DFL history.
Yeah, I mean, to say you've done it on Monaco as well is a more impressive thing, because Monaco is a very hard place to overtake.
It really is, but look how close Harry and Preston are. Look how close the top three are currently.
Yeah, Harry now has finally pulled that 1 second gap under now. So he has broken that 1 second seal and now is excelling through and showing that he is the faster person out of these other two drivers. As Preston sort of makes that mistake through the corner, sort of cutting it will cost him a little bit of time as well. Harry knows he has to be a bit more patient through this section because he can't really make a move. As Preston there looks like he's just brushed wheels with the barrier there. Hopefully he doesn't make a mistake through there. It looks like to have kept it neat so far, but he's made another mistake which has given Harry the allowance to pull to the left-hand side of Preston. Will he try to go around the outside of Preston? He's going to try to go around the outside into turn one, but Preston just holding it off, and Harry makes contact there with Preston with the rear end. He's going to pull to the left-hand side. Preston is swerving left to right to defend Harry off, and this is costing Harry and Preston time to the leader.
Yes, it's affecting both of them. Both of them will be wanting to escape the other, but who will be the successful one to pull away here? You will see the answer to that hopefully in a few seconds.
Yeah, definitely, but Harry is the faster driver, so I expect Harry to get past him as quickly as possible, so he still has time to go after Charlie.
Whether or not he can escape Preston is another question. I mean, he may be out DRS range soon. No, actually, it doesn't look like it. He's pulling ever so closer now. 0.3 seconds now. all he has to do is survive these few corners. He gets the DRS, and he hopefully, maybe, no!
Harry's locked up. Harry locked up into that. He went too deep into that last part of the corner, and that's cost him. That's cost him some time on there, Preston now.
It really has, and with 7 laps left to go here, is that over for Harry?
Nah, I mean, he still has multiple shots to get P2, so, I wouldn't say it's over.
Who knows, who knows? We will see the epic conclusion still to come within these 7 laps. I mean, I know I said it before, but why the hell would you want to click off now? It's just getting even more intense. I know there's a couple of you who did just do that for the joke. Welcome back. But here we go now. Harry is trying all he can with his ERS, bringing it down to the bare bones now to target Preston, whilst Charlie is up top, still surviving with quite a bit of ERS left, storing it, waiting for the right moment to deploy it when Preston or Harry gets ever so close to him.
Yeah, I mean, but Harry has been absolutely rinsing his ERS. He has absolutely been rinsing it as much as he can because he knows he can get past. Makes a bit of a mistake through that corner though. His rear end just slips out there just for a second, but he has opened up DRS, heading down into turn 1. He'll try to go around the outside, maybe down the inside. He had to cut the corner there, but he stays behind Preston. But he did look to have tried to go down the inside into turn 1 to try and get past Preston. But he makes contact with Preston once again because he's still just trying to get past him. But Preston holding off that inside. They both go deep. Almost make contact there. I saw what Harry tried doing there, and he tried going for that inside, but Preston was just sort of squeezing it. Then he said, "No, not allowing. I'm keeping this. No, thank you."
Preston knows that although he may not be able to get P1, he can hold on to P2 here, and he knows he needs the points and cannot lose out on these crucial points.
No, but Harry once again seems to have had a better exit, and it seems to have. No! And as Harry tried going down the inside, and it looks to have that he has some damage because he seems to be cutting corners and just can't seem to turn his car at all. Preston, absolute. Oh no! And Harry's race has just absolutely went from better to even worse. I feel bad for him because Harry seemed to have been ahead maybe at that rate and tried to make that move, and Preston just maybe got a bit too ambitious to keep that position, and I don't know, we'll have to investigate that later on, but Harry will not be happy with what just happened.
That's what I was about to ask you. Do you think it's a racing incident, or is it something that needs a bit more investigating?
We can just send it to Carl.
No worries, no worries. We shall update you lot with what's to come very soon. But Preston will be loving it now. He is still in P2. Not sure if there's enough time for him to catch up to Charlie, but nevertheless, he's in the place for the second most points in this race, and he will definitely be loving it, people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Preston tried to hold on to that P2 as hard as he can. He pushed his car, and sometimes these things happen. But Preston right now, he does have the fresher tyres compared to what Charlie does, and is now gaining even more time with about 4 laps left to go within this race. Preston still has time to catch up and get past, or maybe have an attempt to get past Charlie.
Whether that attempt will come his way or not, and whether he'll take advantage of that attempt, will be another question. But can we just appreciate how Charlie has basically held on to this lead the entire race?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's kept on to the entire race because, Harry was leading it from
sorry, Harry, I forgot.
Onwards, up into about the first pit stop. So it was around before lap 20 maybe. So, he has led the majority of this race. Yes, you are very much correct about that. But I think, yeah.
I am sorry, Harry. I do actually really apologise. I I genuinely escaped my mind, and I thought Charlie had sort of held on for most, if not all, of this race. But of course, you did lead some of the race. Just got very unlucky, as we talk about. But yes, back to Charlie. He has done very well to hold the lead for the majority of this race.
Yeah, exactly. Harry and Charlie, I feel like those two could have battled it out for maybe the win. But Harry, he got very unlucky, down to P8. But yeah, Charlie's done really good to come from basically from the back of the grid when he pitted at the beginning and making that mistake to get in that safety car and putting himself all the way back up to that top slot.
Absolutely. But it may not be Harry battling Charlie, but it looks to be Preston sort of catching up on Charlie. Is there still time for Preston to catch up to him?
I mean, if he can make use in certain sections that Charlie can't, then I would say certainly. But, I think Preston loses a lot of time in certain areas where Charlie seems to gain a lot or has an advantage over.
Absolutely. Whether Charlie can actually hold him off or not, who knows? Whether Preston can make that attack or not, who knows? I mean, we've got about, after this, coming 2 more laps left. 3 for now, but we're about to cross the line to make it 2.
Yeah, exactly. But Preston right now, you can see him literally there in the background in this rear view shot. Preston is getting even closer, but time is running out for Preston. He needs to start pushing even harder now. It needs to be double the pace, double everything, double aggression. He just needs to be 100% max power into these final few laps of the race. Otherwise, it could be that Charlie gains even further an advantage. But Harry right now will for sure hold that fastest lap until the end of the race. No one else will be beating that with a 113 flat. But yeah.
If only Charlie could pull off his qualifying lap, he'd have no problem with that fastest lap. But we're going to look back on that qualifying lap. Probably the best qualifying lap we've had in DFL history.
Yeah, but right now, Preston, within DRS range, broke that 1 second seal. Charlie seems to be making quite a few mistakes right now. I can see him brushing up some of those walls. And Preston right now, he is absolute flying. He has 1 lap of racing to really get... Oh, and Charlie's made a mistake. He's hit his rear wheel, touched that wall, and made him step out. This could be very crucial now for this race lead. Going down on the final lap of the race, Charlie now will be defending for his life. Preston makes slight contact with that left-hand side on the wall on his left part of the wing. But Charlie seems to pull away through this section compared to where Preston does. Preston will now be he seems to have maybe got a bit of wing damage because I can see him struggling to turn. This could be all over for Preston. It was just one too many laps, a bit too late for him to maybe get to this stage now where he's at, maybe pushing Charlie through these sections to maybe potentially grab the win. Unless Charlie can make some mistakes now. I think that's and that is... Harry made a mistake there for a second, but we're going to keep to the top there. Preston's still within 1 second of Charlie right now, but Charlie seems to maybe be holding this one out. It's 0.6 of a second right now, so unless Charlie he seems to be going real slow through this section. You can see he's charging the... Oh, he touches his rear, but it's going to be very close driving to the line.
And it may be all over as Charlie approaches the finishing line and for the first time ever takes P1 the win for the Monaco Grand Prix. And for the first time ever, Preston does survive the race. Both of them making historic moves in their campaigns for the championship. Charlie will be loving this because he gets a bigger advantage in the championship, and people will be right back with the podium once the driver of the day is presented, because I always forget that part comes up. The driver of the day, of course, goes to Charlie. I think he does deserve it. But now we go to the podium, people. Here we go with the podium, people. Charlie does walk out once again, taking, matching race wins with Preston. Of course, Preston on his left, and Alpine completing a 1-3 on the podium here. But Charlie will be loving it as he takes a full 26 points here today. What a great race for Charlie, I must say. Preston will be hoping to come back in the sprint race and the actual race in Australia. Who knows? But what a great race it was today. We'll be right back with you with the leaderboard in a second. Here's the leaderboard, people. Charlie, of course, takes that win with the 25 points. Preston in P2. Harry in P8. And the rest of the guys did, unfortunately, DNF here today. What a great race it was. We'll be right back with you next time for the sprint race and the actual race in Australia. Do not miss it, people. We'll see you in a little bit. Goodbye.